Hey everyone, want to give my thoughts on Avengers Endgame. I saw it Monday, 11:30 a.m. at Showcase at Patriot Place in Foxborough. I love going to those early weekday movies because there's usually no one there. And this time it was the same. There were two other people. They were way in the back, so I barely heard them. And so that was great for me. And but the movie itself, I enjoyed. Um, but to start off right before the movie, the last trailer was Star Wars, and that kind of ruined it for me a little bit. But as soon as the movie started, I forgot all about that, and I was focused entirely on the movie. So the opening scene I thought was great. Bartlett with his family. You saw he had the ankle bracelet on to because of the home arrest, and then he's teaching his daughter how to shoot a bow, and his two boys are in the background playing, and his wife's at the picnic table preparing food. So it was a nice family atmosphere. He turns around, the daughter's gone. He's looking for her, can't find her. Turns around again, the rest of his family's gone. So I felt a little sad for him. And what's amazing is that's the first time I felt anything for Bartlett. I've always thought he was a boring, underpowered character and just kind of pointless. So that was great that they evoked some emotional response. And then the next scene, we had Tony stranded in space, and this was in the trailer. I thought Captain Marvel is going to save him, or maybe Valkyrie and that escape pod will come across him. But my first thought was Captain Marvel, and that's exactly what happened. So her entrance was okay in the movie, and then at the end where she brings him to Earth and Rocket gets off, I was surprised to see Rocket because I didn't see him in one of the earlier scenes, but it makes sense that he's on there. And so moving on to the time travel, they decide that they can go back in time and get the stones and fix everything. There was a lot of fast speaking going on when they were talking about time travel, so kind of crappy, but at the same time they're setting your expectations on how it works in the universe. So in that sense I thought it was pretty good. But one thing that was odd, they had a limited number of Pym particles, and as they did later in the movie, they could have just started off by going out and getting more, and then they wouldn't have to have that problem. But anyways, it was pretty cool seeing Loki grabbing the Tesseract and disappearing. So I'm wondering if they're going to break the internal logic of the time travel, and Loki is now alive in the current universe. So it'll be interesting to see if he shows up at some point in a future movie. Maybe the Guardians of the Galaxy 3. We'll see. And another weird thing, how did Thanos bring his ship? They only had the Pym particle and device for Nebula. Were they able to manufacture those? Was Thanos able to manufacture those? That's weird. Maybe they're advanced technology, so maybe they were able to do that, but I don't know. The best line in the movie, I thought, was when Gamora met Peter, and she needs him, and then asked Nebula, "Is this the guy?" And the best line, Nebula responds, "It was between him and a tree." So I thought that was pretty funny. Thor seemed to be nerfed in this movie compared to the previous movie. He was extremely powerful in the Avengers Infinity Gauntlet movie, but in this one he didn't seem to be quite as powerful. Or maybe Thanos was overpowered because he had that giant sword with him. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But another question: how did Tony not get hurt by wearing the gauntlet? I remember Hulk being hurt, just putting the gauntlet on. He was struggling with it, but Tony had it on and he wasn't hurt up until he used it. He wasn't hurt. So is Hulk as powerful as Thanos? I mean, is Tony as powerful as Thanos and Hulk? Except without the regeneration? Uh, that's weird. Also, he seemed to be hurt just as much as Thanos and Hulk when he actually used it. So if he had regeneration, then he would have been fine. So is he not human? What's the deal with Tony Stark? And my last topic, and I saw another video on this one. How did Captain America get back into the timeline? That just kind of negates the whole setting your expectations on how time travel works. So what's up with that? But anyways, I love the movie. Just try not to focus on any of those weird things that happen, and when I rewatch it, hopefully I'll still have it. And peace out.